Liu Kang, how did you birth Shinnok?
Fatality.
Welcome back to part 2. Assuming that you listened to part 1. This is our very first 2-part episode on the Wake Up 3 podcast, and we're back to more of portals and blasts.
That's right. There are a lot of hand blasts and portals in this game, and I feel like there's a lot more of them on the back half of the story, which we're about to get into.
Welcome back. We are Wake Up 3, and I'm your host, Molly.
And I'm Cam, and we are a fighting game podcast from a couple that loves fighting games.
We have a mix-up.
Yeah, let's get into the mix-up. The theme of the mix-up this week, because I have a theme, is It's in Our Blood.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all about blood this week.
Oh.
Let's start with MK1, since that's the most recent game.
Oh, I thought this was all going to be MK1.
No, we're going back this time around. So let's go with MK1 to start. Every character but one in MK1 has red blood. Which character does not have red blood, and what color is it?
Reptile green.
That's right. You got it. You're 1 for 1. MK11. There are 3 characters with non-red blood. Who are they, and what colors?
They are Devora blue.
That's right.
3? Okay, I have 2.
3. What's the
No, I
second?
have to, RoboCop
Yeah.
oil, like black.
It's like gray, but yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like the robots.
Yeah.
And then,
You got this.
let me think.
Yeah. I'm just leaning into the mic. One more character. You've got Devora and RoboCop.
Okay, I'm thinking about this roster.
You're going to be kicking yourself once you realize it.
I'm thinking about the roster.
Okay. Because I think I would have personally forgot about RoboCop over this character.
Really?
I think you're going to be kicking
Interesting.
yourself if you can't get this.
Oh no, no. I just have to remember the roster because
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute to play any other MK except for one. So
Right.
let me just go through it in my head.
Should I give you a hint?
No, I want to get it. You know, I like to guess.
Yeah,
I
you
like
love
to get that good old savory guess.
You love to guess. Get that endorphins. Those endorphins.
Gotta
going.
get them where you can.
Yeah, right.
So
You guess
Okay.
right, and it's just a rush of serotonin.
trying to think of all the people. I'm trying to
It's
picture
been-
it in my head. Yeah, I'm trying to go through the rows, and I can't.
It's funny because we've played this game for literally 5,000 hours.
I know. This is sad.
This is ridiculous.
Oh. Wait. Is his blood different? Does Spawn have green blood?
He does.
Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
that's right.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, Keith David.
That one's a little bit tricky, I think.
A little bit.
You remembered him over RoboCop?
I
though?
did,
That's
yeah, I
interesting.
did.
Because you're the big RoboCop person.
I do love RoboCop. It's my favorite movie, but I'm not big on playing him because I don't like the zoning style.
Yeah, and I probably ended up playing more Spawn over the course of the game than you did. So
yeah,
that's fine.
that's why I expected you to.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Keith
Okay,
David, baby,
okay.
with the green blood.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to MKX.
Okay.
Name the 3 characters with green blood.
With green blood in
There are-
MKX.
Yes, and then there's more to this, but let's start with the 3 characters in MKX with green blood.
Okay. Reptile.
Yes.
Who else would have green blood? Damn, I might need that roster fixed. Oh. I got it. Alien?
Yes.
Predator?
Yeah, that's
okay.
right. That's
I
right.
really hesitated on that.
Yep.
Like,
All
I don't quite
green
remember.
blood. Yep.
Okay.
And who has blue blood? There's one. And then who has black blood?
Well, black blood would be Triborg.
Right. So I guess oil, actually. But I wrote blood.
Yeah. And blue? Would that just be Devora again?
That is Devora again. Yep. So I guess...
She's always had the blue bug blood.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, when you squish a blood, or excuse me, when you squish a bug, it comes out blue. So cool if they did that.
Does it?
No, I'm just making sure. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, you squish a blood. Jeez, I keep saying it wrong. Yeah, you squish a bug, and it's blue inside.
It comes out blue. There's always blue goo in there.
There's blue goo in there for some reason. No one knows what it is. Bug juice. I think that's an actual juice. Anyways, let's go back to MK9. We are going all the way back here.
Uh-oh.
Name the 3 characters who have blue blood.
Wow, there was blue blood before Devora, huh?
Yeah. There was blue blood.
This is going to be difficult.
Before Devora. Once you get one, you'll immediately get the rest.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, you should.
3 people with blue blood in MK9?
Yeah. You're stuck on that bug thing again.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not
a bug thing.
It's not a bug. It's 3 characters with blue blood. 1 character with green blood. 1 with black blood.
In MK9?
Yeah.
1 with black blood?
Yeah.
Man, I don't think I'm going to be able to get these. I don't know this roster.
I guess you're not as familiar with MK9.
No.
But you should be able to get the green one.
The
right?
3 blue people?
Yeah, well...
That sounds crazy to me. You're like, yeah, once you get 1, you'll get them all. Like, are you sure?
I think so.
Oh my god. Well, the green is Reptile.
Right,
Once again.
Do you know the black?
No, because when you said black, I think of Sector and Cyrax, but that's 2 people. And Smoker.
Well, Smoke's not in that one. It's a robot.
He doesn't get a robot skin?
No.
Now that's messed up.
Right? He's never had a robot skin in this era, in the NRS era.
It's time.
So, yeah, it's time to bring back Smoke as a
Or,
robot.
you know, just bring back Cyber Smoke.
Cyberizing.
24th slot.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Jeez.
3 characters with blue blood. 1 with green.
3?
Reptile. Yeah, 3.
Who are these people? Who are these 3 blue bloods?
It's gonna throw you off. There's one.
But you said if I get 1, I know them all.
Yeah,
so
if you get 1, you'll get it all. If you get 1, you'll know the rest. Who has black blood? There's only 1 with black blood. Figure that out first. You got this.
Black blood?
Yeah. Black blood.
Is it someone that has had black blood in other games? Or is this like a one-time thing?
He had that, I think it was like once in the older games.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And they had black blood in 2 other games.
But they haven't always had it?
They have not had it since. They've come back since then, and it's been red.
Noob Saibot?
Yeah, that's right.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Now,
that was my, like...
Yeah, so he's the only black-blooded character. Now, who has the blue blood?
Why did they not continue that?
I don't know.
Why didn't they give him black blood in MK11?
I don't know, but it would have been way cooler, right?
Right?
Like blackish purple. It was like a blackish purple kind of thing.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it looked really cool. I always loved those effects.
Now these blue trio, who are these people?
You can't. Do you want me to just tell you? Can you not?
Will I feel like a fool if I find out?
Absolutely.
How? I don't believe you.
Do you want me to tell you so you can feel like a fool? I'm going to tell you.
Oh, God. Okay.
It's Cyrax, Sector, Cyber, Sub-Zero. Blue blood.
Why do they have blue blood?
I don't know. Coolant?
Wrong.
Coolant? It's not oil in this one. It's like coolant or something.
Weird,
I don't know.
Weird.
I
I
don't
like
know.
the oil that they did in MKX instead.
Yeah, I like the
There.
oil. Oil's fun. They did oil in the past as well. Some fun facts to follow that up with. You did pretty good.
Okay.
Missed the last one, but
Yeah.
anyways.
I don't think I would have figured that out. But yeah, you're right. If I guessed one, I would have had them all.
Yeah, that was my hint.
I got you. But I don't know. I just thought like ninjas. Like they don't have blue blood.
Right. You're like bug people, ninjas, monsters. Who else is there?
Yeah, like what are the weirdos in MK9? I was trying to think. All right, let's hear these fun facts.
Okay, fun facts. In MK Armageddon, Noob, Smoke, Sector, and Cyrax all bleed black. Both chameleons, so the lady and the man chameleon, male chameleon, I guess. K and C chameleon, I should say. Both bleed green, and so does Reptile.
Okay, that's
so
interesting.
3 green-blooded characters in that game.
The green blood takes precedent,
It does. It does.
apparently.
I mean, there are 4 characters that have black blood. So.
Yeah, but like the chameleon characters kind of act like every ninja.
Lady ninjas
Yep.
or the...
So
ninjas.
it's like, we have Reptile in here. We're just going to go with that.
Yeah. Yep.
That's our blood.
Also, fun fact, I don't even have this one written down, but in Trilogy, when Chameleon would get hit, he would randomly cycle through all 7 colors of the ninja palettes.
Okay.
And when he would get hit as any character but Reptile, it would be red. But if he got hit when he looked like Reptile, it would be green.
And
So that is in Trilogy.
Okay.
So just a fun little thing here. But let's get back to Armageddon, because there's one more part of it. This game also has like a blood level that you can set in the settings. It goes from max, medium, low, or you can just shut the blood off. That's something that people have asked for in recent times because of content creation. So I do think it's kind of interesting that back in 2006 they did this. Mm-hmm. And in MK Deception, going back one more game, Noob Smoke has black blood. That's the only different kind of character in that game, I guess.
Yeah.
In Deadly Alliance, Reptile has green blood, Cyrax has black blood.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, why the
Yeah.
blue?
I don't know. They just went blue
Why the
for
blue MK9?
Coolant. I don't know.
Gotta stay cool.
Yeah, they gotta stay cool. They're robots.
Maybe Cyber Sub-Zero is the one that like made it. I could see Bihan bossing him around and saying,
blood.
we need to have more coolant in our blood.
I wear blue. I want to bleed blue. Bihan. Actually, he wasn't even... Bihan he gets killed and turns into Noob. Kuai Liang is Cyber Sub-Zero, so it doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it makes more sense that Bihan as a person would want to be cyberized.
Yeah, but he gets Nooberized instead. So
I don't know that I like that word.
I don't think so either. In MK3, let's get back to these fun facts. The 3 cyber ninjas have black blood way back in MK3 in 95.
Wow.
Pretty cool. And then Reptile, Shiva, and Motaro all bleed green.
Wow. Why didn't Shiva have green blood in MK11?
I don't know, but when I was looking this up, I found there's a reference to it from back then. When Shiva and Scarlet fight each other, there's a dialogue thing that says, "I can't wait to sip your green blood."
Oh my god.
And Shiva says, "All Shokans have red blood." And then Scarlet replies, "You must be from another timeline."
Oh my
So
god.
just a fun little thing. Just a fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I probably never saw that matchup at all.
Yeah, and if I did, I probably didn't know what the hell they were
Notice it,
talking
yeah.
about because I didn't know Shiva blood green.
That's crazy. I like that fact.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. When I was growing up playing MK3 or Ultimate MK3, I was playing it on Super Nintendo where Shiva was not even an option to play because they took her out of that one. So,
Yeah.
yeah, didn't experience that personally. And then in Mortal Kombat 1, the 1992 game, not the new game.
Yeah.
So, just Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
There were 2 different home console releases, the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. The Sega Genesis had the ABACABB blood code,
Okay.
which is actually, that's an album. Abacab is an album from Genesis, the band. and that's why it was on the Sega Genesis. So,
fun
fact.
That is fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you would just press the A, B, whatever. You know, you would press the buttons in
I
that
like
order.
that.
But yeah, it was based on the band Genesis's album because they could do that.
That's very cool.
So, yeah. And then, so that was the blood code to get blood in that game. And then the Super Nintendo did not have blood on it because Nintendo was a little more stick up their butt at that time. They were more rigid. So they just had sweat in that game. It was like gray.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah. That's it.
Working up a sweat.
Yeah, so you're working up a sweat on MK1.
Working up a gray sweat.
Oh my gosh. Prince. Yeah, so that's all I got for my mix-up and my fun facts. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that didn't drag on for too long.
Excellent.
But yeah, I figure it's in our blood. Been hearing that a lot lately. And I wanted to just talk about Mortal Kombat Blood and all the different colors of it. So
we've got to talk about our weekend fighting games because
there was a lot. I mean, we obviously played a ton of MK still. Mortal Kombat 1, that's still going strong.
Yep.
I think that's the only game that we touched.
For sure.
That's definitely the only game we touched. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
You were in a tournament?
Yeah, I played in a tournament on Saturday. I made it to round 3. So, I mean, it was a double elimination. I went 1 and 2, but you know, whatever. It's literally my first MK tournament in general across any of the games. So,
and it was the MK1 launch tournament for Stacy. A shout out to Stacy. She's doing MK1 tournaments every weekend from now.
It was the first time I got that true high level play feeling.
Yeah, because there were a lot of people in that. It's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of high level players in there, and they were all over the bracket. So
my first match was actually streamed. It was the very first match of the tournament, and it was on stream, which made me extremely nervous, but
that was unexpected.
I think it went pretty well. I mean, I lost 3-0 against Vendetta's Johnny Cage, but I felt like by the end, by fight number 3, I was starting to adapt a lot more. Yeah, I was getting my combos in a little bit better, and I was feeling myself finally by then. But I think I just had to get over that initial hump of like, this is my first MK tournament, and I didn't find out it was going to be on stream until 2 minutes prior or whatever. Right. So I was like, oh shoot!
But wow, I'm up first and I'm on stream first.
Yeah, that was honestly a shock, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that was Saturday. I was glad that happened. We did. Yeah. Did you have anything else about the weekend fighting games, or was that?
Yeah, I mean, since then we've been playing a lot. We're dedicated to playing each other, kind of just like sparring it out. We were kind of paring down to 1st to 3 for a bit, but we've gone back to the 1st to 5 just because, you know,
I feel like that gets more intense by the end.
That is how it gets in the finals of a tournament. So like we want to play our characters to that full extent, even though not every match is going to be like that.
There are definitely matches where one of us will go 5-0.
Yeah.
But there are matches
occasionally.
But then
it goes both ways.
Yeah, it goes both ways. It goes for both of us. Like, oh man, I got destroyed by, whoever.
Yeah. Wow. Never want to touch that character again that I just got smoked as.
Yeah. Like today, actually, I lost 1-4 and I was playing Kung Lao and I thought like, yeah, I like my Kung Lao. And I was like still feeling myself and doing some sick shit, but I could not handle your Melina. So that's
I've been dabbling in Melina just a little bit. I feel like I don't know her enough to be like, yeah, this is my character. But she has her advantages for sure. She has a bit of a mix.
She's got some cool moves too. I like what they did with her in this game.
Yeah.
Especially compared to 11.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it doesn't even feel like the same character.
No, it doesn't. It's like a return to Melina.
Right, because MKX Melina was fun.
Yes.
MK1 Melina is fun. MK11 Melina is anything but fun.
Yeah.
It's like a bad time to play. Just not fun. The buttons are all bad. All her buttons are terrible.
I think the biggest thing we can mention the reason that we're kind of training is because there is a unique tournament coming up that's a team tournament.
Yeah,
that we are going to team up for.
Yeah, we're doing a 2v2. That's going to be really fun. We're doing a 2v2 next week. And it's a triple elimination where each person gets knocked out once basically, and then at that point you have to choose between the two of you who is going to continue playing. Yep. So you get one final chance to take down that other team, which I think is super cool. That's not anything I've ever really heard of.
Yeah, it sounds so fun.
It
and
does.
like, I've never done any tournaments yet. I'm very intimidated by the idea of it. So this is going to be like a good way to experience my first tournament, I feel like, because I don't know. I'm just a nervous Nelly.
A little bit nervous, yeah.
Yeah, so
cool,
I feel like it'll be a good like start.
Yeah,
anyway,
definitely.
See if I can pull it off.
For sure. I think it's gonna go well.
Yeah, I think it will be fun.
Yeah.
But that is next Wednesday, hosted by Infinity.
Yeah, so I guess next episode
we'll
look forward to hearing how we did.
I think the only other thing to say about that is that our cameo choices have taken a turn.
Yeah, that's true. We've been
back.
Yeah, we've turned back the clock a little bit and gone back to beta
Flesh
characters.
Arms.
Yeah, well, yeah. We're both playing Jax as our cameos most of the time right now, and I think it's largely because of that unblockable ground pound. We've been figuring out ways to set that up when you knock somebody down. Mm-hmm. It's pretty great. It's a lot more fun than I expected, honestly. And I think I'm going to start incorporating that into my Shao unblockable ground thing, so I can try to do like 2 at a time. 2 unblockables. I think double unblockable is like the funniest thing. So we'll see how that goes. Any other characters with unblockables in the game? There aren't any that I can think of at the moment, but I haven't played everyone yet, so I guess if there are any other characters with unblockables, someone just let me know. Just comment on this. That'd be great, because I want to see some disgusting double unblockable setups in this game. I think it's so funny.
But yeah, with that, we're all into Jax. So yeah, I didn't see that coming just because we've had access to him since the very beginning.
Yeah, we've been able to play him since
the stress
August,
test.
So
before that,
yeah,
we could play him in the stress test.
That's right.
So,
but yeah,
Jax is back, and he's my only choice. I'm never picking anyone else again.
I mean, that extra 100 health does help. That's pretty nice. Especially when I'm playing like Striker as a cameo and I have 950 and you have 1100. Mm-hmm. That's never fun. Uphill battle from the start.
Oh, yeah.
With that, let's get into the episode.
So, yes, we talked about MK1's story last week. Delved into that just a bit, and we're back to wrap it up. But before we get into where we left off, we wanted to address there's a whole prologue chapter before the Kung Lao chapter that doesn't involve any fights, but it does give you kind of a setting of what's happening in this new era, what's cooking. So it's Shang Tsung. So you get right off the bat in the story a scene of what Shang Tsung is up to in his new low-life timeline. That's another thing we have to discuss, is that Liu Kang says he gave meaningless lives to people that would have done bad. Shang Tsung, prime example.
Yeah,
Shang Tsung is on this. He's what would you call Shang Tsung's state when we see him? A traveling salesman?
Yeah, he's kind of just a traveling salesman, and he's barely getting by. He's a con artist. His stuff is all fake. He kind of just has to stay on the road all the time to avoid angry customers.
I feel like he might have been in like a circus at some point, because in the story, Reptile says like, because of my unique trait as a Zaterran, where they casted me out, my own race of people, because I could be a human.
Yeah.
Weird.
Right. Strange.
Yeah, weird that those lizards did that to you. Sorry.
Racist lizard colony.
But yeah, Reptile at one point mentions that he, because of his unique talent, was kind of used like in a, it sounds like a circus to me.
Like a
circus
sideshow
act.
kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like Shang Tsung could be in that vein too, because he has this wagon that gives off circus like
It does. It has circus vibes.
Yeah, living in a wagon. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. And it shows in this one that he's not actually an old man. He's just a con artist that wears old man makeup.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the first time we played the story, he got me. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm buying it. Like,
Yeah,
that's old man Shang. We'll see how this all unfolds.
No, he just gets his ass beat by a dude that sounds like Dave Bautista. Could be Dave Bautista. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We don't really know.
No, I still haven't seen anything official on that, but yeah, it really did. And I don't know if it was just from the MK1 ad.
Yeah, it could have just been
but
from
like that influencing our brains.
Right.
But
yeah, that dude kind of beats the crap out of him and his fake beard falls
he calls
off.
him out in front of his little crowd that he's trying to swindle. Mm-hmm. Telling these people like, oh, you might be asking yourselves, can you afford this luxurious cure that I'm offering you?
Yeah,
but can you afford to be
product.
Without it?
Right.
Is the real question. So he's a little swindling man.
Yeah.
And ends up getting beat up. And then later in the rain at night, we see him alone, taking his mask, makeup off and stuff.
Yeah.
His old man get up. And we see his little tied back hair. I want them to have that skin as
that'd be cool.
Shang skin.
Like a young Shang.
Yeah. With a little
young
bun.
salesman Shang.
Yeah. Before he was like manipulated by himself from another timeline.
Yeah.
So yeah, then the guys of Kronika shows up and says, hey, I'm here to show you your destiny.
Yeah.
Because you're meant for more than this. Like, since before you were born, you were conspired against. They're out to get you, and I'm here to help show you the way. Like, I'm going to give you, Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting that the, like, Shang in this new timeline, he's, like, trying to, trick people. He's a trickster.
Yeah.
And yet, he's still able to trick himself. Like, the only one that can trick Shang is Shang. Yeah. I don't know. He still falls for it, even though that's his own game. So then he's easily enticed by his fake offer from another timeline.
Yeah, he thinks to himself, oh, I could have power and not have to live as a traveling circus boy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on board from the get-go. We get that great evil grin, and then it's into the chapter 1.
That's right.
So we just wanted to talk about that because we totally skipped over that last time. Yeah. Is there anything else in there you
think that was
had
pretty much
to
it?
Know? Okay,
no,
cool.
He got beat up. He got an offer from what we thought was Kronika, still voiced by Jennifer Hale. Mm-hmm. And with that, let's jump ahead to where we left off of last episode, which was Chapter 7, Reptile. Now, Reptile is infiltrating the Sundo Festival, some giant party with decorations, flaming lamps.
Flaming lamps, lanterns.
Yeah, those little flaming paper lanterns.
Okay, now we gotta say he's not infiltrating it. He's
sneaking
about above on the rooftops because down below we have to get Quan Chi, who's passed out, through the city.
I love this.
So before we even get into that, do you want to talk about what Quan Chi looks like at this point?
Yeah, Quan Chi unleashes this, and then one of the souls, which looks like an undead samurai or something, just like rushes out of the Soulnado and grabs his face and just kind of like screams in his face while draining all of his color away. And Quan Chi's like, ah, like unleashes kind of his best Hank Hill impression, and just the spirit thing just moves on, and that's it. They never address it, but from then on, Quan Chi is pale.
Yeah, isn't it funny how not even, Johnny and Kung Lao, who are carrying this man through Sundo and dressing him up in a disguise along with themselves.
It's so good.
None of them are questioning, like, what happened? He didn't... What?
They're like, why is he all pale?
Yeah, like, no one's asking the real questions here.
Yeah. He doesn't even seem to care, right? Like, he comes to, and he doesn't seem to care
doesn't
that
know
he's
where
this
he
pale
is.
man. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, they're delivering him through the city to a portal to reach Liu Kang, and they have to make it through unnoticed. So Reptile is atop the buildings to
spy and just keep an eye out, I
You're
guess.
supposed to create a diversion so that people don't look
Yeah.
at them.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I know what a diversion is. Let me just start causing fires in the streets.
Yeah, he goes a little bit too heavy.
That's a cool
Like
diversion.
a bit too direct.
Yeah.
Asha's like, yeah, go create a diversion. He's like, I don't even know if she's the one that does it.
I don't know. That's fine, though. Let's just pretend. Let's
pretend
Ashra,
Asha gave the command.
she's
Why
in
not?
charge. Yeah.
Yeah. The Chris said so.
Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah. So Ashra gives the command that
Reptile create a diversion
Yeah.
to keep the eyes off of them as they travel through, and he just takes it to the full 10. He's like,
Bet.
oh,
Let me just start a fire real quick.
Yep.
And then let me start another fire over here because I'm invisible.
Yeah, me? I know diversions.
Yeah, I know how to start fires.
So, yeah, they've all dressed up in these festive outfits for the festival, so they blend in, and they're very fun.
Yeah,
this is
cool.
yet again another example of skins I need in the game.
Yeah, they're just goofy. They remind me a lot of the Combat League skins that you could unlock later on in MK11, but they're pretty great. They'd be fun for an addition, and I like the one that they put on Quan Chi where it's pretty much just the headpiece, so they can carry him around like he's a drunkard or something. That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I love the scene shortly after that where Reptile's just climbing around on the rooftops being a spy, and then Quan Chi starts waking up. He's like, where am I? Who's holding me? And Johnny and Kung Lao just kind of look at each other and shrug and start punching and kicking him in the face until he gets knocked out again. And I love Quan Chi. He's like one of my favorite characters, but I think it's so funny whenever he gets his ass kicked. Is that weird?
I don't know. It is funny. Maybe it is weird that you like that, but
I think it's hilarious. Like, he's one of my favorite characters, but when characters just like
beat him up.
Yeah, they shrug at each other like, I don't know, and then they just start punching him in the face a bunch.
You gotta love Johnny's reaction to just like,
I don't know,
follow my lead, man. Like the improv.
Yeah, let's just beat the shit out of him until he's concussed, I guess.
Yeah, and upon like, I feel like the first couple times when we played it, I just like thought they were just punching him. Yeah. But when we watched it again, like Johnny kicks him in the face.
Yeah.
And then Kung Lao follows up with another kick, not to the face, but yeah, another kick. So
yeah, it's funny because we watched it back. We just did a little playback of just that scene, and there's 4 hits to Quan Chi, and the first 2 are Johnny. It's a punch to the face, a kick to the face. And then Kung Lao finally jumps in and just kicks him in the shin and then kind of punches him in the gut a little bit. Mm-hmm. While Johnny also punches him in the face again. Yeah,
Johnny really commits to the
like, bam,
to the scene.
The face. Yep. Kung Lao's like, I guess I'll hit him a little bit so I don't feel left out.
Yeah, I'm going to look like I'm throwing punches too.
Yeah, Kung Lao's like, I'm doing this so you like me because I want you to think I'm cool.
I want you to put me in your movie. Like, that's what he's secretly thinking of the whole time.
Yeah, definitely. Then Shao finds them, and he's like, hey, there they are. I can see Quan Chi dressed up as a... I don't know what he's dressed up like. Just dressed kind of goofy and being carried. And then he can also see invisible giant fat lizard reptile climbing about by the moon, just on a building.
I feel like Reptile is the first thing they see.
Yeah, because they can, like, see bricks breaking off of this building because he's a huge lizard just, like, stomping about.
And Li Mei's like, look up there.
Yeah. She's like, Li Mei is like, this is Sun Do territory. I'll take care of this. Mm-hmm. And Shao Kahn, General Shao is like, I'll do it.
Yeah, like,
just leaves.
I don't trust anything left to you.
Yeah. I would never leave anything in your hands that I cared about, Li Mei, you peasant.
I thought you were going to say, like, Li Mei, you pest.
No,
that would work, too.
No, let's call her a peasant, just as a reference to MKX when she was a peasant.
Reptile has a few fights with all these peeps that are trying to get him.
I feel like for the most part...
Is like, green blood, that means you're a freak.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'm a lizard. Let me fight you.
Yeah, let me show you how much of a freak I can be.
Yeah.
But we find out in Reptile's chapter that Katana knows that Melina has maybe done this. I don't know if it was more than once or just very recently. She left the city alone at night. Now, why would Melina be doing that?
It's very sneaky. It seems like it's to meet up with Tanya.
Yeah.
Because she shouldn't be seeing Tanya, so she does it on the sly.
Yeah, Katana reminds her that it's forbidden according to the Ungadi code. And, you know, you can change it once you're in the throne, but for now, you need to play it safe.
Right, and Melina just kind of...
shrugs it
dismisses it, and she's like, you don't know what you're talking about, or I don't know what you're talking about. No one knows what anyone's talking about. I have to go. See ya. Chapter 8, Sub-Zero. We get another ninja just back to back. We jump to a completely different spot here. The Lin Kuei are invading a temple. Do you remember what the temple was called?
Oh, I was just gonna ask you.
Oh man, no, I don't know the temple name, but they're invading the temple, and it's Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Smoke.
Is Smoke there?
Yeah, Smoke is there with them.
Oh, okay.
And Bihan kind of makes it clear. Bihan, he talks to Smoke and he's like, you may be Lin Kuei, but you will never be we do not share blood, or something like that.
Yeah.
He like does the inverse of the usual quote, and Smoke's like, oh, that's rude. I just want to be a good Lin Kuei guy. Mm-hmm. And Scorpion just kind of pats him on the back like, there, friend. You're Lin Kuei to me.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah,
Scorpion's such a little, like, softy here.
And Bihan is Bihan, so he's kind of showed us a dick a little bit, and it's great to see.
It's the best.
It's funny.
One of the things that stands out to me the most is the amount of Bihan we get. It's just so... I'm so
great.
happy to be living in the Bihan era right now.
Me too. It's really fun to have him around, so...
It's everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah. He's a great part of Mortal Kombat, and obviously he's been around since the beginning. He's had a lot of important roles, but
yeah, I love how much he shines in this story. I mean, some would say for the worse, but it's still Bihan. That's what you have to remember. Like, it's Bihan.
Yeah, it's Bihan.
That's why you think he's a piece of shit, because it's Bihan.
One of the things he says when they walk into this little temple and invade it, he's like, he sees all the treasure everywhere, and he's like, there will be spoils in this war. And the other two ninjas just look at him like...
I don't think Smoke is in there with him. I think it's just Scorpion.
Is it? What was Smoke? I think Smoke got left out.
Just a lookout.
Yeah,
I think just called him Smoke.
Bihan didn't trust him, so he was like, you just hang tight out here, because I don't want you in there in the treasure chamber. You don't need to see our future treasures. And then they get captured by Shang, Quan Chi, and Shao, because all three of them kind of show up all together, and it's hard to beat three bosses all at once.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Know? And this is the point where Bihan gets spoken to about all the future riches he could have and the power that he could have over Earthrealm.
Shang Tsung is pretty confident that he'll be able to sway the Lin Kuei to his side.
Right.
And he was right.
Yeah.
Bihan is tempted.
Yep.
And Kuai Liang tries to say, brother, no.
Yeah, please don't.
But Bihan says, listen to your grandmaster.
And Scorpion's like, how could you? We need to lead and follow by father. And Bihan's like, fuck father. And, right? It's pretty much what he said. He's like
fuck what he would have thought.
Yeah, he's like, fuck what father would have thought. I let father die because he was weak and I wanted to lead the Lin Kuei. And then Scorpion's like, you what? I thought you tried to save him. And Bihan was like, no. It was a big family drama. It was like a soap opera in there. Mm-hmm. And the whole time, like, Bihan and Smoke and whoever else, they're all just watching this happen. I guess Bihan wouldn't be watching.
Yeah, I was confused.
Smoke and Shang Tsung, they're all in this room just watching it happen, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyways,
they're getting some cool drama, I guess.
Yeah, they get to watch some drama unfold.
They capture them, and Shang's like, oh, like, it's funny you're here, let me show you these undead soldiers that I have, and you could have command of like 5 of them if you wanted.
I think he says a few thousand.
Yeah.
5 of them? Yeah, you want like 5 undead soldiers? I'll even put some souls in them for you. And...
Yeah, so the way we do it is we take this crown and we crush it.
That's not...
Or, no. We take this crown...
and we wear it.
And we take this jar of green and we crush it over the crown. Remember how it wasn't
there.
No, that's what you would have thought he would have done.
He just smashes it on it. We take this crown and we crush it.
Who wasn't expecting Shang Tsung to just take that green essence when he was like gonna animate the crown with souls or whatever?
Just drink it.
You thought he was gonna drink it?
No, not actually.
I thought he was just gonna place it inside like a crown centerpiece,
like a gem.
Yeah,
that's what I expected too, honestly. And then he's just let me smash it.
Let me
smash this gem.
It's very scientific, I must say, Shang Tsung.
Yeah, good job, scientist. Anyways.
I can see how your lab is so scientific.
Yeah,
it's full of science.
Right.
And experiments that are very bad.
As from there, we go into chapter 9, where Scorpion is the new character. And he's kind of pissed off that Bi-Han just joined up with Shang and the gang. It's not the Dark Gang yet. Just Shang and the gang.
Yeah, now he just has to like try to figure out how to get out of there, but by himself.
Yeah. So, Bi-Han kind of, according to Scorpion, he betrays the Lin Kuei's values, which I could see it, you know. But as the Grandmaster, Bi-Han's going to do his own thing. And
he wasn't wearing the badge proud.
Yeah, so he actually removes the badge. He beats up Sub-Zero enough to just escape Bi-Han. Yeah, like Kuai Liang does this, Scorpion.
Yes.
Gotta make it clear.
Yeah.
And then he removes his badge and he says, "This ain't no badge of mine."
Yeah, I'm not loyal to this if that's what it is.
Right. And then he goes and he finds Smoke, who has just been standing outside the whole time. Just outside the door, I guess. Hanging out, waiting for something to happen.
And that's why Smoke doesn't get a chapter.
Yeah, because he's just been hanging out doing who knows what, honestly. Maybe he was doing a secret mission, but most likely he was
probably just practicing his little tornadoes.
Yeah, he was just spinning around in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, Scorpion and Smoke kind of profess their brotherly love to each other, and they say the opposite of what Bi-Han had already said earlier, like, we may not share blood, but we are brothers. And Smoke's like, aw, and Bi-Han sees this, and he's like, man, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn you into robots.
Bi-Han's probably thinking, like, this is the last step, you know?
This is it, yeah. I'm glad I joined the bad guys and got treasure. Also, at this point, at some point in the treasure room, Havoc was there, and that's when he gets his face melted by Scorpion.
Yeah, I don't think we've really mentioned that Havoc has been kind of in and out of the story thus far, but he was in the Living Forest when Quan Chi corrupted it with the Soulnado.
Yeah, so he was there.
Offered
he got to
up
see all that.
Like a representation from Chaos Realm or whatever. Actually,
it's still just Order Realm.
Yeah, he's in Order Realm.
Yeah. But he's trying to disrupt it.
He's another one of those characters that Liu Kang put in kind of a shittier position to try to keep him down.
Yeah.
I don't know why Liu Kang would have thought doing that would make any of those people stay down.
Or something.
Yeah, like if you're problematic no matter where you know?
No matter where you
come
from.
Like it's going to come out somehow.
That's right.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't be that absolute, but
I don't know.
I guess in MK, that's how I feel anyway.
Yeah, for these types of characters in Mortal Kombat, anyways, I guess we should make that clear.
Yes.
But yeah, Scorpion gets to fight Havoc in the treasure chamber, and he submerges Havoc's face, like his entire face, in this molten lava. And we kind of watched that like, whoa, damn, okay. And then Havoc comes up, and it's just his mouth area that you would expect.
His mouth and nose.
His mouth and nose. He's like, oh no, wiping away the lava. And he's like, you won't get away with this. And then you get to fight Havoc.
Yeah, it's like another Kenshi moment where, whoa, wasn't that a lot? Like, too much? And
yeah,
then it's like,
I
no,
swear your eyes were in
let's
that
have
too.
a fight over it.
Yeah, so that's where Havoc's messed up face comes from in this timeline.
Thank you, Scorpion.
Yeah.
Now, jumping back to Sub-Zero witnessing Scorpion and Smoke kind of solidifying their bond as brothers without shared blood, this elicits a fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And in this fight, Sub-Zero slashes Scorpion in the eye. So Kuai Liang receives his, classic eye scar. And once again, it looks very extreme. It's absolutely gushing blood in the moment. But then it's fine. His eye is okay. It's just a cool looking scar. We gotta throw that in there because that's very key. That's a key moment for sure.
And then I guess they escape the temple. And from there we move on to chapter 10, which is Li Mei back in Outworld. Li Mei teams up with Liu Kang to get to Sindel.
The only duo you could expect for Li Mei in this story, because as we've said, Li Mei is just getting absolutely destroyed at every turn by everyone she encounters.
Yeah, she gets shit on left and right, and every encounter, whether it's in combat or in conversation. So those two team up to get to Sindel because they have to warn Sindel of Shang Tsung's wrongdoings. Li Mei wasn't there, so why does she? She just immediately trusts Liu Kang, because honestly...
Well, yeah, she lets her guard down pretty fast as the constable.
Yeah, she's like, you can't be here, and Liu Kang's like, I have to give news to the Empress. And Li Mei's like, okay, sounds good, I'll go with you.
Yeah, Li Mei's like, oh, I should have known Shao was not gonna be good.
Yeah, it didn't take much
So then, yeah, she's like, I'll help you do it, whatever it takes.
Right.
So then they're off to get to her.
Yeah.
And she has to fight, like you said.
All the Adenians.
Yeah, everyone that hates her.
Yeah, she has to fight Tanya, Kitana. She fights Melina, and then her symptoms come on, and it's bad news. And then she's like, oh my gosh, you've got haircut. And no one wanted her to know that, of course, but... I don't know, you beat her up, and then they can administer the cure, or the... It's not a cure. What is it? Like an antidote to make it subside anyways?
An antidote.
It just helps make the symptoms subside temporarily.
Yeah.
And then Sindel's like, oh, thank you, Li Mei, you have my gratitude. What is it you want? And Liu Kang strolls in, and he's like, hey, we're cool, right?
And Sindel's like, actually, we're not. Why were you sneaking around? Like, I had a whole banquet to say that we could all be open with each other going forward and not have any secrets.
Right.
And then you sneak around my kingdom. What's the deal?
You send spies into my territories? He says that, I have something to show you in Shang Tsung's labs. He's been up to no good, and if you still don't think it's bad news when I'm done showing you, then you can just have Earthrealm, I guess. He just kind of throws that out there, which I thought was like, whoa, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be so nonchalant about just like giving up Earthrealm as the defender of it, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Raiden-esque thing.
It's Raiden-like
to just
from MK1.
throw something on the table that doesn't need to be there at all. Like, what if the small chance that she doesn't give a fuck about what's going on in the flesh pits?
Right. What if she's like, oh yeah, I set him up for
like,
this.
oh, yeah.
This is a normal Outworld thing.
Yeah, and I'll take that realm now from you. Thank you.
Thanks for the realm. See ya.
But yeah, so Liu Kang is just making weird, like, oddball bets, throwing things on the table. That's pretty much it for Li Mei's chapter, right?
Yeah, then they move on to Sindel. We take over Sindel as the playable character. This is chapter 11 now, and we are in the flesh pits. She sees the atrocities that are in the underground area, which have been conducted by Shang under her watch, but she had no idea of them. She's horrified. She's like, I can't believe this.
She's like, I sanctioned him for some work, but not
I didn't.
This.
Yeah,
this is not what this.
Yeah, she's like terrified.
This isn't part of my commands.
Yeah. And then Shao walks in and she's pissed. She's like, how could you know of these things? And he's like, I'm helping with these things, or whatever.
Yeah, and
not directly, but he's like
amulet.
Yeah, here's Shinnok's amulet. Shinnok,
Whoa, excuse me? Yeah, that's something we have to address because first off, Shinnok, hello, that's our first mention of him.
That's right. First and only in this story.
Yeah. And second off, immediately from that is how?
How is he still around? How could he? Well, maybe he's not now, but how could he exist without Kronika?
Yeah.
Because she's the mother of Cetrion and Shinnok. And Titans cannot be brought back under any... They can't be reborn or... I don't know, whatever.
Once destroyed, they're done.
Yeah.
So...
She shouldn't be able to be back. How could her children be back? How will they explain that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Or does it just mean, like, it's just like a legendary, like name?
He was an ancient...
They know of him. But
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I guess we'll see in future stories, or maybe we won't.
Because this Shinnok's amulet, this comes from the Aftermath Shang, who's disguising himself as Kronika.
Right.
So this is from his timeline?
Yep.
I don't know what's going on over there. Does he have a Shinnok?
He shouldn't be able to because Titans can't be reborn.
But like,
and there would only be one Titan.
Are their souls affected though? Like, did they just get born by someone else? I don't know how that would work.
I think you would have to ask Liu Kang. Hey, Liu Kang? How did you birth Shinnok?
Yeah, in a different timeline.
Jesus.
That's not yours. Yeah, or where is your Shinnok and how did you make it?
Yeah, is he still around?
Is he corrupted?
Because the amulet's here.
I want to see corrupted Shinnok just strolling through the living forest or something.
Me too. Or just like vibing as a merchant.
Yes.
Corrupted Shinnok the merchant.
Whoa. But yeah, that seeing that item, hearing that name kind of stopped us in our tracks. So we wanted to like address that and
yeah, definitely
say what's up with that.
Yeah. And from there, Shao Kahn uses the amulet immediately. Liu Kang's like, Shinnok's amulet, that should not exist. And Shao is just like, boom, just a big old blast, like bow, wow, wow, or something. I don't know. Use whichever one of those sounds better.
Or probably both.
Both?
I think they'll both be there.
Okay, well, yeah, he laser blasts a bunch of people into non-existence, or so it would appear at this point.
He kind of just like zaps them.
Yeah, he zaps them and they just disappear. And Sindel's like, holy shit, because she's still around.
Mm-hmm. And Liu Kang's like, no, it's all right. It should be all right. Like, I think I've seen this before. I kind of made this realm. I don't know.
We have to get them out of the amulet. And anyways, who's in it? Who's in the amulet? It's Sindel's daughters, Katana and Melina, Tanya, and Geras.
Yeah, wild card.
Yeah.
Geras is here.
Geras is here. He shows up a lot.
Liu Kang basically summoned him, at just the worst time. Like, hey, I'm gonna call you. I'm not gonna say when, but just expect me to like just call you into wherever I am in the near future. And Geras is like, all right,
cool.
I might see you next week.
See you, bestie.
And then next thing he knows, he's taking a shit, and Liu Kang summons him to no other place than the flesh pits.
So Sindel beats up Shao, gets the amulet back, and Liu Kang knows how to operate it, so he just releases them out of it. And the daughters, the twins, Melina, Katana, they run up to Sindel. They're so happy to see her again. They're like, "Oh my gosh, we were trapped inside this, I don't know, hell dimension. I don't know what's.
What that. I want to see just a glimpse of them in this like waiting room of
like
Shinnok's amulet,
right? Is
like hanging with Geras, like.
Yeah, because I want to know: is it a void?
Did he talk to them?
Like,
could they talk to each other for all that time?
Is it like I wonder if it's like you're frozen in time. You can see stuff, but you can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. But
give me the POV of being trapped inside Shinnok's amulet, please.
Tanya looks kind of shocked, like she's just standing there frozen, like what the hell just happened? Mm-hmm. And Geras is just standing there, like it makes sense.
Yeah, it's what I expected.
It's what I expected, being inside Shinnok's amulet. So I guess shout out to Geras because he rules.
That's like a feat for MK1, I feel like, because MK11 Geras. Not that cool.
Yeah, they leaned into some...
Gameplay-wise, pretty cool.
He was pretty cool for that, but like, personality-wise, they leaned into some weird shit for him.
A really weird dynamic that I didn't enjoy.
A lot of
Kronika.
servant vibes with Kronika, and I much prefer it that he's just like Liu Kang's BFF. At that point, everyone is safe. So with that, we move on to Chapter 12. Melina. Melina beats up Ermac and then finds out that Ermac is her dad.
Yeah, this little altercation that they have somehow makes it so that Jerrod's soul can take the reins and be the forefront.
Yep.
Yeah, because he says to her at the end, like, hey, I'm your dad, and because of our fight, I can be in control.
Yeah. It's me and like a million other souls in here, but I'm number one because you just beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Thanks for beating me up so I could take control of this vessel. This gray corpse vessel.
Yeah, and they hug.
Yeah, they hug each other.
Actually,
later,
I think it's Katana that runs up and there's a shot of Katana running up and hugging Ermac.
it looks really good. And then my first thought was like, you're hugging this gray man that probably smells. Anyway. From there, while they're having their little meet-up reunion, they haven't seen each other in forever. Jerrod's in a new body. All that fun stuff. Dark Shang and the Dark Gang show up, and Sindel has a sword fight with Dark Sindel. Dark Sindel picks up a sword off of just Geras. Geras is laying on the ground, and we noticed this last time we played that there's a katana just laying on top of Geras. And I say katana, not kitana.
Yeah,
because that would be very different.
Yeah, we're not saying that Geras has any sort of
relations,
sexual drive, so
that's right. So yeah, there's a sword just laying.
I like relations better.
Yeah. There's a sword laying on him for some reason. I don't know if it's supposed to be there or what, but Dark Sindel just uses her hair to grab it off of him, and then they have a big old sword fight. That goes on for a minute, and then regular Sindel gets stabbed through the gut.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not great.
No, it is not.
Melina beats the Dark Sindel before going over talking to her mother, which happens to be the final time that she can speak with her mother, because she dies there. And this is right after Jerrod shows up and is like, hey, we can be together again. We can be a family. And then Sindel dies. At this point, Jerrod absorbs her.
Which, before this happens, he says, of course, as if he's having a conversation, like that's a response. Like, I imagine that Sindel's like spirit says, like, can I live in there with you?
Can I live in your body? He's like, sure, man, let's do this.
Yeah, of course. And then he just kind of like absorbs soul energy. Yeah. And then Melina and Katana are just like,
they're looking like, what the fuck?
What
did you just do?
He's like, oh, no big deal. Your mother wants to be with me.
Your mother can live inside my gray corpse from now on, and we'll both just take care of you, daughters. My lovely girls. They're like, okay, sounds good.
All right, we're not going to ask any more questions.
Yeah, so then they move on, and from there we immediately go into chapter 13. So 12 is pretty short. Sindel has a duel. She dies. She gets absorbed. And that was Melina's chapter, so it was all about her mom, really, but
yeah,
that's okay. Melina gets a lot of real solid representation during this story. I feel like her story was done very well, and yeah, there was a lot of it. So
I think I think people were waiting for that for Melina.
I think so.
MK11.
I think she was done pretty well. I think I really enjoyed what they did with her. Chapter 13, Shang Tsung. We're getting towards the end game here. Shang Tsung, Quan Chi, and Raiden, the new deadly alliance of 3, are going around destroying portals at the gateway.
Yeah, so we've got this trio just shooting up blasts at the top of a portal.
Yeah, they're just shooting blasts at these like gateway portal things and destroying them, but they keep getting interrupted by Dark Shang and the Dark Gang. The gateway is awesome, by the way.
The gateway is my favorite stage for the music alone.
It's very good. It's very good. I think
my favorite.
I think my favorite music at this point might be The Corrupted Forest. There's so many good stages and so much good music in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, let's get back to the portal destruction.
Yeah, what else was Shang doing in his chapter aside from destroying these portals in the gateway?
He was pretty much just destroying portals.
He keeps trying to tell Raiden, like, see, we're helping. Like, remember that we did this great deed for you guys.
Yeah, and Raiden pretty much just says, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be in this situation anyway. And they just kind of like smirk at him like,
Yeah. Shang and Quanch.
Shang's a little dickhead right now. Quan Chi doesn't really say a whole lot in this.
No.
He's just kind of in the background hanging out. At some point after one of the fights that Shang wins, he looks at his opponents and says, "So much for Fire and Ice," which was originally going to be a sequel to Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. I don't know if it did better, or I honestly don't know what the reasoning was for them not making that game. But yeah, after Shaolin Monks was supposed to be Fire and Ice, and it was going to be Scorpion and Sub-Zero. So I would like to think that was a fun reference to that. I could be off base, but something to note. Chapter 14. I feel like these last like 5 chapters fly right by because it's just fight after fight after fight, and then it moves to the next person. So that's why we're moving super quick right now. Chapter 14. Liu Kang starts pulling titans from other timelines. Liu Kang starts pulling as many people as he possibly can until he has this gigantic army.
But he brings one person in particular for just a brief moment for himself and Geras to witness.
That's right. The very first person he brings back is, of course, Katana. His katana from his original timeline.
Not just any katana.
Right.
His katana.
His katana. And they realize this. They have an embrace. And they kiss at Geras' house in front of him. I have to imagine Geras has seen pretty much everything, so he doesn't care. But I want to imagine that he's just kind of like, what the fuck, guys? This is my house.
Yeah. He's probably thinking, like, what if I just did my sand swallow MK1 move on both of them right now?
Right? And just, like, drop them under the map. Like, get out of my house, please, if you're going to be doing this.
So disrespectful.
Yeah, and then a bunch of the dark bad guys show up. Dark Shang and his dark crew. Dark gang.
Yes.
Felt really weird to say crew right there. I've already been saying dark gang enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they all show up and they kind of destroy Geras' house for a minute before being repelled. If I was Geras, I would have been kind of pissed off by that. Like, it's the one thing he has. It's just a little house. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and he has little, like, Zen gardens with this, like, how perfect for him. Come on.
It's sweet. I don't think there's a bed because I don't think he sleeps.
No, he kind of just watches the hourglass all day.
Do you think he has a couch? Or a chair?
I
bet he has a chair.
I can't imagine Geras sitting down.
I bet Geras has like a huge like flying throne or something.
Oh, yeah, he probably would.
He probably has a throne. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. I take it back. I can see Geras sitting in a throne.
Yeah,
that
just like
flies.
like a time traveling throne or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's got like little hourglass arm.
Yeah, that he touches,
rests.
and the sand moves around inside when he touches it. That'd be fun.
Cute.
After all this is done, we are at chapter 15, Armageddon.
Another callback.
Another callback.
Did we already
clearly
mention that they've said Deception, they've said Deadly Alliance?
I don't know if we've mentioned that they say all of the 3D era titles in the dialogue throughout the story, but that is kind of fun. Mm-hmm. And yeah, at this point we finally reach Armageddon, which is the final 3D era game. And very different from any other story they've ever done, because in this one you get to choose which character out of all characters on the roster you're going to play. And that is how you complete the story.
Yeah. So how were you shocked when that happened the first time?
I was honestly very surprised because this was there were a ton of leaks before the game came out, and I was kind of addicted to looking through all the skins, and I stayed away from all the story parts of it. But yeah, I was incredibly shocked when it came to just having to choose whatever character. Who did you pick for your first one?
I picked Geras.
That's right.
So you picked Reiko for your very first run through.
Yeah. Because
Reiko doesn't have a chapter in the story. You don't get to play as him.
I just wanted to try him out. He was like...
And so, yeah, that was like all fine and good. Then the next person you chose was Havoc, who we know has a zoom out if you select Havoc. So he's a taller character.
There's like 3 bigs on the roster.
And when it got to a certain shot of that chapter...
Yeah.
I feel like that shot was made with the average height characters in mind, and it was just like Havoc's jaw.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
And then
I guess chaos, so I think I just like wrote it off as like...
And then I selected Geras, who ended up having the same exact shot.
Yeah.
And he is also one of the bigs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like I have to pick someone really normal height to see how that shot is supposed to look because, yeah, if you know, you know, I guess.
Yeah. That was really funny when you pointed that out, but I love
Like, I don't think
that
that's
little
supposed to look like that.
Right. I love the custom cutscenes though when you get your own character that you choose just running out of the cutscene while someone lays on the
Geras
ground.
is so funny running.
Yeah, because he's one of the bigs, obviously, so he's huge
like,
and he does this little
expressionless.
Yeah.
Like he's just a time steward.
Yeah, it's awesome. Geras rules in this story. There were so many times where he would just walk into frame and we were like,
oh my god,
fuck
yeah.
yes.
Where he was just like creeping next to like Liu Kang and the camera just pans over like awkwardly. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you were there the whole time? Just
Like-
breathing behind my shoulder.
Yeah, yeah, like, how long were you there before they showed you? Because the camera literally pans and he's like breathing down his neck.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And we find out that Quan Chi was dwelling in the mines. So he's
That's
still...
another thing I love. God, yeah, Quan Chi was wallowing in the mines underground.
languishing in the
Languishing,
mines.
yes.
Yeah, he seems like a little sad boy.
It's
and
the best.
It's really funny. He says it with these crazy eyes.
Yeah, you run into all these characters like Quan Li, Stung Lao,
Rick-
combinations of two characters mixed into one.
Reiko Star, and it would be like Reiko and Johnny.
Yeah,
little
I
things
love
like that.
that.
The names are honestly pretty good. They're fun. They're clever.
Yeah.
So
Shout
that
out
was-
to the team for that name creativity.
That
That's a
was-
lot of fun.
that was a super fun chapter, and it was definitely replayable.
Yeah, I was going to say that makes it very replayable
Yeah.
because you can play as, you know, the whole roster and you get to see all these random...
Mm-hmm. And it seems to
Freaks.
change. It seems to change
Yeah.
because I played through chapter 15 twice. I also played through as Havoc. And both times at the end of my story, before I fought the Deadly Alliance, I fought Robot Smoke. You didn't get to see him, which I thought was different. You got to fight, what, Red Dragon or something?
Yeah, it was like Liu Kang as...
Kano.
Liu Kang and Kano.
Yeah, it was super weird. I thought that based on the fact that I fought him twice, I just assumed that that fight was consistent and that it would always be like the final one before the Deadly Alliance. But no, you got somebody completely different. And that really threw me off because I had already seen Robot Smoke 2 times.
Yeah.
And then
he's
it's like,
kind of like the only one where it's almost the only one. Do you ever get to fight like Janet?
I don't know if you fight her or not. I haven't fought her
Because
yet.
that's one when all of
Janet
the
Cage.
good people show up before you select your character. You see Johnny walk up like a good Johnny, and then like a Janet runs in, which is female Johnny,
Yeah.
and just like stands kind of in front of him like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And they
But-
seem to work off each other pretty well during this chapter. They're doing little goofy moves and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hitting people at the same time and
Yeah, you
whatever.
see Ninja Mime and...
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. I wonder if you do fight her at all.
But yeah, she would be like maybe the only other one where it's like just a character, not like a mix of two characters.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
She's also got her own voice actress.
Yeah.
Like someone is actually credited as Janet Cage.
Yeah, so it kind of leads you to wonder, are we going to see her on the roster?
Like a premium skin or something.
Yeah.
Even
Or
for
yeah,
Johnny.
or that. That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
That'd be pretty cool. I could imagine them doing something like they would do in Injustice 2, how they would give you a second character. I put that in quotes. But it would just be like a different skin, and it would maybe change the way the powers looked a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, Supergirl could turn into Power Girl, and that way her powers kind of look the same because they have very similar powers, and they would move the same and all that, but they would just look completely different. Mm-hmm. Superman is the same thing. He's got Bizarro, and that was just a skin, but Bizarro would shoot frost out of his eyes, and he would shoot laser breath, which is weird, different. It operated the same. I would love to see that come into MK9, or Jesus. I would love to see that come back for MK, because they did do that in MK9 with the robots. Mm-hmm. Their powers would, their abilities would happen differently based on whether they were in their human outfit or their cyber suit. So
Right.
I want to see that come back.
I want to see, since MK1 was almost going to be Injustice 3, I want to see when they do make Injustice 3, Superman have some kind of mid-round animation where he just pulls out the bottle city of Kandor and strokes the glass or something.
Yeah, like hugs it or something.
Yeah. Just gives a little kiss.
Yeah, we've been real into the bottle city of Kandor lately, if you haven't noticed. So, yeah, Superman in Injustice 3 is going to pull that out and kiss it. and then
Yeah,
just
just
toss it
rub it for
aside or
good
something.
luck.
I don't know.
Toss it and break it.
Toss it aside.
Just hear them screaming.
Yeah. So,
All right.
anyways.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's a fun aside.
You talked about Superman, so I had to.
Yeah, and that's cool. With that, once we get to the top of the pyramid, because during this Armageddon chapter, we've been fighting our way up from the bottom up to the middle, and then finally the top. I think that's cool I think it's cool that stage has 3 actual levels to it.
Yeah,
I like that.
And that's another great stage.
I love it.
Great music.
I love it. It's one of my favorites.
So good.
Do you have, this is a random question, but do you have a favorite out of those 3 pyramid stages? Because I do.
Is it the middle?
It is. It's
mine,
the middle.
I think mine is too.
Something about the middle. It's got all these cool designs on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I
it.
like the vibe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really like the middle of the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, nearing the end of the story, we are at the top of the pyramid. And there's nothing else to do at this point except for defeat the Deadly Alliance. Which we do.
Yeah, and Quan Chi's up here wearing a silver
It's like the goofiest
floor-length sleeveless robe.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of his... I think it was his Sub-Zero Mythologies outfit or something.
Oh.
Okay. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I feel like, and this goes beyond just the story. This goes as far as, all of the skins that we are seeing so far in the game. I feel like even in that, there's a heavy 3D era influence.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Why not go full out,
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. It's a goofy outfit.
It's goofy,
It's super
yeah.
goofy. And at first, I think I hated it.
It takes you back.
But after seeing it for 5 seconds longer, I actually love it.
Yeah,
it didn't take long. It didn't take long at all.
I was surprised on that because, yeah. And you've turned around on other things, too, that you're at first you're like, I don't like that.
Yeah,
and now you're
definitely.
like, the pants are pretty cool.
Who are you referring to?
Melina.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like her baggy pants and her Unit of Light outfit. I think it's fun. I like it. I didn't really like it the first time I saw it, but...
I think these skins bring back that kind of ornateness of an era that's gone,
Yeah, definitely.
We've talked about it before, MK11 nailed the quantity, but we're looking for the quality again. We're looking for the heart in the skins.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're getting that.
I don't want to
I don't want to diss MK11.
I'm not trying to discount MK11 because, like we said earlier, we played it for 5,000 hours. A lot.
We loved that
over
game.
the last 4 years. We loved that game.
But I feel like that's why we're able to say, we spent so much time with the game. We should be able to say, that part wasn't the best direction, but that's okay. You can't nail every corner of it. And I think now a lot of people, particularly people that play more casually, are looking back on MK11 and missing certain things about it.
I have seen that a lot online. I've seen a lot of people saying they missed the Towers of Time and the character towers.
Yeah, they miss more modes.
Yeah, they like the ability to... I think it's that constant unlocking of little gear pieces, because there are so many gear pieces. More than 1,000. I don't know how many, but each character has 120, something like that.
Right.
So, which is insane. At this point, we have 15 per character because it's 1 gear piece instead of 3.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I don't want to spend all of my time playing a fighting game in the customization screen.
Yeah. And not to go too far off track with this whole tangent that we're on, but I feel like, after having experienced the the constant unlocking of MK11 and getting all of these gear pieces, by the end of it, it was okay, I have the one I like, and that's what I'm wearing till the end.
Yeah.
So by MK1, it's just I just want to find whatever I think looks cool, and I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely. I don't need to unlock a ton of things that I'm not going to care about,
Right, yeah.
So.
Definitely.
That's just me, though.
I feel that.
But going back to
the story. Maybe
back to getting to the top of the pyramid.
I guess for the last 5 minutes or so, we've just been chilling with Quan Chi and Shang Tsung while we talked about
outfits,
all this,
and
outfits
stuff.
And the pyramid stage and whatever. And at this point, we have to fight these dudes. We do it. We beat them up pretty easily because there's nothing There's nothing special to
yeah,
this fight.
That's true. That's one thing I didn't really think about, but you're right.
Yeah, there's
usually
you would get like Chronica or Corrupted Shinnok.
Yeah,
or
with kind of a gimmick to it where it's like, oh man.
Like, oh, this is weird and I'm not used to this because it's not something I can actually play as.
They clearly have the boss advantage.
Right.
But the Deadly Alliance,
they're just
regular schmoes.
So at that point, you get up to the top of the tower, and I feel like you're already number one, and you just kick their asses. It's quick.
So Liu Kang disposes of these guys, turns them into sand, and then the realm starts just shaking and collapsing, ? Right. That's what Liu Kang's telling us anyway.
Yeah, he's like, it's unstable. You have to go back to your time. And
Let me portal you out of here.
Yeah, so he portals you out, and from there, you don't see your character anymore. That's it. Mm-hmm. But we go over to our epilogue, which is
the tea house.
The tea house. We've got Johnny, Kenshi,
Raiden, Kung Lao, and Liu Kang sipping on some tea.
That's right. So the 5 boys, I guess you can call them.
5
The 5 boys. I don't know about that. But yeah, they're having a little discussion, kind of
like, what next?
Yeah, what next? What do we do now?
We're about to part ways, and everybody's going to go back to their normal lives because this whole thing is done.
Yep. And Johnny's talking about making a movie about all of the crazy happenings from Outworld. Mm-hmm. He says his producers don't know that it was a real thing.
They don't know.
They think it's fiction.
Yeah.
And that this time he's not going to be in front of the camera. He's going to be the director.
Yeah, he says he's looking for someone younger and prettier to be in front of the camera. So does that mean Janet?
Janet Cage? Yeah, that's what we get. And then Liu Kang walks off and says, Earthrealm's in some pretty good hands. Roll credits.
And then...
Yeah, halfway through the credits.
Credit scene.
Yep, we get a little stinger right there in the middle.
You first see the pyramid is still there. It has not collapsed like Liu Kang said. And someone is struggling. And it is Jax.
Yeah.
This is the first time we get to see Jax in the story.
Right. So we have not seen him at all up until then. But apparently he was there at the Battle of Armageddon.
And he got his arms ripped off.
Yeah.
So he's just gushing blood and grunting on the steps.
Yeah. And they were his metal arms.
That's right.
So he already had his metal arms at this point, and they were ripped off.
Well, next he's going to get a spiked mace to the head because
you're right.
Havoc is there with some other dark folk.
But they walk down the steps. They're talking about how this was the most chaotic fight that Havoc has ever seen, and he loves it, and he loved all the violence, the bloodshed, the chaos. Next time, he's going to make sure that this doesn't end so soon. And then it ends with a close-up on Havoc's face, looking all crazy.
Yeah, I think that looked so good.
Yeah, that looks sweet. That's very cool. It's a good outfit. I like that. I wonder if we'll get that.
That is the other Havoc outfit that I need because that headpiece is cool as fuck.
Yeah.
But it kind of sets it up to make you think that but I think a story expansion would...
I think it's
focus
likely.
On Havoc.
I think it's likely, and I think,
or at least Havoc as the bad.
Right.
Or the so-called bad, and maybe we'll get a bigger bad. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? As of right now, Havoc is loving the chaos, and he's looking for more.
Yep, and that is all of the story.
That's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed our retelling of it and our random quips. Hopefully you got something out of this. Maybe something that you missed the first time around. And at the very least, I hope you guys had fun listening because we had a lot of fun playing this story together. And I think it's even more fun to just talk about it afterwards when we're just like remembering random little parts of it. Because I'm sure I've probably missed some things, but it's fine. It's our telling.
And that's just the replayability coming in.
Yeah, so that's right. So
I'm sure it won't be the last time we'll play the MK1 story.
A couple of MK1 story exclusive cameos that I just wanted to go over that I think are kind of fun. It's cool to see. Like we already mentioned that we liked to call them out as much as we could. But people you can use beside you in the story. Raiden. Adam, which is Johnny's little friend.
In the movie.
Yeah, in the movie. He's got the first half of Reiko's slide. Just with no punches. I liked that. You get a lightning elemental. Johnny in his stealth suit.
Reptile, Kenshi, a fire elemental, Lime, Tanya, Katana, and finally Liu Kang. Those are all the exclusive cameos that you get in the story. Those are fun. There were quite a few movie references in the story, and I just wanted to wait till we got to the end to go over those. The first one, it belongs in a museum. That was Illinois Johnny on the set of his movie, and that's obviously a reference to Indiana Jones. There's a Back to the Future one. Hey, you, get your damn hands off her. Johnny says that during his, what he thinks is like an after movie party. He thinks he's just acting with these people.
Doing like a little improv group, like it's a joke from his wife.
Yeah, but she's actually pissed. She's actually gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was fun, and I honestly kind of missed that the first time around. So it was fun.
I did not, because I love that. It definitely stood out to me, and I really appreciated the use of that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was fun that he practiced it first.
Yeah.
Like George could fly.
Yeah, just like in the movie.
Yeah. So that one. Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. That was also Johnny, and that was when they went to Outworld, and he was filming everything. Because why wouldn't Johnny film everything on his camera? That's Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. The boots weren't made for walking.
So more of just like a
little
musical reference.
Musical reference. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. Johnny again. What's your precious say to the thing that tracked Shang Tsung throughout the story, the little tracker?
Yeah, Kenshi was given from Liu Kang.
Yeah, so Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
So Kenshi says, "Get away from her."
Yeah, and Johnny says, "You bitch."
And then
Kung Lao's like, "Excuse me?" Oops. That part was really good. And that was from Alien. That's Ripley from Alien. Johnny, once again, I've got a bad feeling about this.
We all know that.
All the Star Wars movies. That's an offer you can't refuse, Johnny, or The Godfather if you prefer. You didn't tell me you could go full Predator. That's not a quote exactly, but that's just something that Johnny says to Reptile. Just another movie reference. And then Johnny asks Liu Kang at some point, "Can I get a martini? Shaken, not stirred." 007, James Bond. So they are all Johnny. They are all Cage. Johnny Cage.
That's right.
That's right. So
what would you give like the story overall?
I think in terms of like being fun and nothing more, I would probably say like an 8 or a 9. I think it does drag in the middle during some of those chapters, but by the end it's just flying through, and especially that final chapter is like super enjoyable.
Okay.
What about you?
I would rate it pretty high too. Probably also like an 8.
Okay. Anything you disliked about it? I mean, I don't...
Other than what I already said. And then I think everybody's kind of feeling this right now where the timeline shtick is...
Yeah, the multiverse thing.
Yeah, it's overdone.
Yeah.
We've seen it once. We've seen it as many times as we'll ever need to see it, you know?
Right.
So I feel like I hope that can just die off soon. But I understand that they kind of had to continue from what 11 set up.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Opening the other timelines kind of makes it so like, did you need to start a new era?
Yeah.
Like, is this the only era left at this point?
And Liu Kang was just horrendous. We didn't even mention how he forfeited his power.
Yeah.
As Keeper of Time. He gave that away, and Geras very stealthily tucked that power away. He saved it because he thought you might want
this at some point.
You could have it in the future. That was crazy. Like a crazy decision. Like,
yeah, let me just give my powers away.
I'm gonna give it up. And Sindel even questions that. Like, you decided to give that away?
Yeah, you gave it up. And he's like, yeah, I didn't think I would want it anymore because I wanted to hang out with people from Earth.
I feel like he thinks that people are gonna think that's some noble decision when he tells them, but it's not. It's like why
stupid.
would you... Yeah. That's how we got into this mess. If you would have had the power the whole time, you would have seen Shang Tsung coming.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, he fools everyone with someone that wasn't supposed to have survived. Geras says it's impossible for her to be there because once destroyed, Titans can't come back.
Right.
someone survived the timeline and their identity is clouded.
Yeah, and it turns out to be Shang, the Aftermath Shang. So both timelines came true after Aftermath.
So after all, Shang was the big bad.
Yeah.
Really?
Which I guess makes sense. Mortal Kombat 1. We should have seen it coming.
I guess so. I mean, I think everybody kind of had, like, in the back of their minds, like, are we going to see Onaga come back in this game? Maybe we still will, but...
We might. It'd be nice. It'd be cool to just fight a big corrupted Shinnok style person again.
I do miss that. I'm glad that they referenced Shinnok at least a little bit with the amulet.
I wonder if they'll bring him back. I don't know how that would be possible because
I don't know either.
No Kronika, no Titan.
No mom.
No mom, right? So
no sister.
No Cetrion, no Shinnok.
It shouldn't be, but
maybe
I don't know.
like...
This multiple timeline stuff makes that all possible, I think. So.
That's true. We could get anybody from anywhere. Could be a different timeline. Shinnok that's just a simple farmer or something. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Wake Up 3. You can follow along on Twitter at WakeUp3FGC or on YouTube and Spotify at WakeUp3. I'm your host Cam, and you can find me at Big Ruck Online on all social media.
And I'm your host Molly, and you can find me on Twitter at Concut, that's KAHNKUT, or on PlayStation, that's Jan Michaels.
This is Wake Up 3 signing off.
Bye.
Would you rather be the size of an ant or 1 foot tall?
I don't know. What would you prefer?
I think I would rather be ant-sized. In
Why?
this world,